Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. Of course, this is Night Owls, and what is the date today? I think it's the 26th of September. Damn, we're almost in October. This year's almost over, Thundero.
It is. It is. That's a good thing, Chester. That's a good thing.
I guess it
I
is a
don't.
good
I
thing.
don't know why, but it. Listen, the further distance we get from last year, that seems like a win to me.
True, but I don't know if it's going to get better. I have a feeling we're in for quite the ride here. However, I would like to announce, though, that last weekend I took my mother-in-law out to a fancy fresh French restaurant. She's
Uh-oh.
never been to one in her entire life because her husband is
Oh,
boring, and when they go out and drive, which they do quite a bit, they always eat at the convenience store. They get the
Ch-
onigiri, the rice ball, you see.
Chester.
Yeah.
Just stop hitting on your mother-in-law.
Dude, she was
What are you?
smoking hot when she was young, man.
What is? What? You don't say that about your mother-in-law, Chester. What are you doing?
Dude, she's 80 and she well 79 and she's still not a bad looking lady, I have to say.
Oh
But
no.
that's no you see what you do is the first it's important if you decide like okay, I like this girl, she's not that noisy, I could possibly marry this one. You have to go see the mother-in-law. That is a rule.
I like how your number one criteria was noise making.
Well, I mean, shit, dude. I'm busy, right? I
Yeah.
need peace and quiet, right? Me and the dog, we agree. We need peace and quiet. So, and I got a nice quiet one. I got an effectively working one too. I got lucky.
Oh.
But yep, no, her mom is she's a hottie, dude. What are you gonna
Oh
do?
boy. Chester coming out as a granny lover
Hey
right here
man,
in front of
hey
everybody.
man, I ain't gotta lie. I ain't gonna lie. She's a highly attractive lady. I mean, of course she's older now, but when almost 30 years ago when I first met her, I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Because she was 50 and smoking, dude. Anyway,
Yeah.
don't judge me. Anyway, come over here and I'm hitting that like button and I'm sharing, which I hope you guys are doing as well, because that does help us get more people in here. Of course, you guys know we don't really care much about the subscriptions, seeing as we've been put on a list. We're not allowed over 1,000, so fair enough. But we do want to have more people in here to chat with because that's our intention. So let me see. What am I going to say here? Join us live, which is what I write all the time anyway. I'm not very interested. Yeah.
Well, I mean it's good that you know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Oh, I'm
That's
very
good for you.
self-aware. If you haven't noticed, I am.
Oh
I have.
no.
I'm not deluded by any means. But let's see who we got in here. We got Roger. Hey, Roger. What's up? We got Joshua as well. Lady Celtic Moon. Nice to see you. She's from West Texas. Yep, 26th. I don't. What is this? Right on greatness had begun. I don't know what they're talking about, but hi everybody. And Joshua is twice in there. He likes to be double, triple represented, so that's good. But okay, she's better. She was sick, so she has a small fever. Oh, that's okay. Well, it's the season, right? This is a season where everyone gets the sniffles and the flus, and that transition for summer into the colder season is kind of when it gets you, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same reason why your mom said, wear a jacket when it's cold and put on a raincoat when it's raining. The environment can affect you. You know can cause weaknesses and let those nasties get in there. So hopefully everybody's feeling good. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah. No complaints over here. Yeah, no complaints at all. Still on the old weight loss train. I feel here's the best part about it. I'm now at the part where it gets a little harder to get the pounds off because you when you do it for a long period of time, body changes real fast, so your metabolism goes haywire. So, but that part also comes with the part where I just feel better. Like everything, my flexibility's back because I'm very flexible. Actually, my legs are incredibly flexible. I can literally take my foot, turn it, and plant it on my chest. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My brother
so
used
I'm
to
an
do that.
incredibly flexible person especially my lower body, and it's nice to have that back. Plus, since I've been working my arms and stuff, those are gaining back their shape and they're very taut and things. Uh, that's all well and good. The problem is is it makes you lose motivation, right? Because you feel better and you feel so much better. You've lost all that weight.
Right.
You've,
That's
you know, I
true.
almost got 60 pounds at like 58 and some change, right there, right on the cusp of 60. And it's just a process. So what I've decided is tonight I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I'm just going to eat some extra dinner. Um, and then tomorrow we're going to hit it running full speed and trying before Friday. I'm going to try and get these last 2 pound and an eighth or whatever it is off, and see if we hopefully I can get 60 before October. So that'll be 7 months, 60 pounds. That's a nice round
That's a lot. That's a lot.
round number.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you're putting a lot of vitamins back in, dude.
Oh
But
yeah, I take a huge I take this vitamin blend. I take all kinds of supplements. You got to. That's the one thing people screw up.
you do.
There's two things
Yeah.
people screw up when they're losing weight. They try and do it too fast. Slow down. Mine came off fast because I already had the muscle under there because I used to be in good shape. So just slow down. Don't worry about if it's not coming off real fast. Go for 1 to 2 pounds a week at most on a regular diet. Change your diet, but don't completely change it. Right? That's how you get there. You change. I mean, there's some food. Everybody has some foods that they just can't. There's no way you're
Yeah.
going to quit it. So don't quit it.
Yeah.
Find a way to make it healthier. Find a way to make the portions smaller. Find a way to eat it a few times a week instead of all the time or whatever. Do things like that. Increase your protein intake. That's important. Very important. Most people don't eat enough protein, even especially men. Get protein, however you
Yep.
got to do it.
Yep. Get
And
some
then
of
the other thing
hormones going
that
on, dude.
that people screw up is they don't realize that you're losing weight, but you're also losing muscle usually. So
Of
you need to
course.
either
Yeah.
strength train while you do it, or take supplements to keep your body from eating your muscle. Right? It'll eat the supplement stuff, the vitamins and everything, and the fat. Or the other way you can do that is if you keep your caloric deficit to about 500 a day from your maintenance level,
Yeah.
which is real easy to figure out nowadays. Just go online and do it. There's all kinds of calorie calculators. Just be honest. The only person you're lying to is yourself. So
That's
just
true.
be honest.
That is true.
Stay right around that mark, and you do it consistently enough, you will lose weight. I don't care who you are. You will lose fat, and that means weight loss. Another thing people always freak out about, never freak out about if the scale goes up, because the scale's going to go up. It's not going to go down every single time you get on it. Just chill out. It could be a million different reasons why the scale went up. Probably just you're bloated, or you haven't had a nice number 2 in a while.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a good kilo right there. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, very good advice. I love how we become a diet channel. That's awesome.
Yeah. We got to get people in shape.
Get
Come on, fatties.
Get Booster in here. We got to thin
I
that boy up.
actually have been on Booster a little bit about it. Not like mean or anything, but I did get him, at least last I checked. Booster has, not to give away too much, he has a medical issue. I don't know if he's talked about it on here, so I won't say what it is. But he went to the doctor, and the doctor said it's under complete control. It looks great for the first time in a real long time.
Yeah.
And it's because one of the things he did was he cut out regular soda. So he's just drinking like Coke Zero or whatever.
We
and that just that
all.
change, just that change fixed him dramatically.
Yeah.
Helped him dramatically.
Yeah, there's another interesting little point, and of course the things are great. The great advice, the motivation is definitely something you have to keep in mind with. But the interesting thing about snacking, though, here's the thing about snacking, and I this is something that I had a problem with. I think everybody does, but I learned a long time ago, and I changed my ways, and I haven't had trouble. Is this snacking is not food? It's just taste.
Yeah.
So don't treat it like food, right?
That's right.
Like with sodas, for instance, everybody knows soda is not good for you. It's not good for you, dude. It's not.
Yes.
Now I like soda. I like root beer and Dr. Pepper and stuff like that. Sarsaparilla. I love sarsaparilla. So but that ain't good for you, man. So what I do is I go to the specialty store because I can't buy it normally. I mean, there are some sodas here, but I never drink that shit. I want to have
theirs anyway.
Yeah.
Fan stuff so weird.
Yeah. So what I do is I'll pick up a few. I leave them in the refrigerator, and maybe once a week I'll have a soda. just
Yeah.
one, and I usually share it with my wife. If because I usually get 7 Up, which I don't mind, because my wife likes it though, so that's why I get that one. Because we usually share, but I also get a Dr Pepper and A&W. But
Yeah.
I only have one like once a week.
Yeah.
Soda should be treated as a snack. If you get ice cream, don't get the big old bowl. Get the little teeny rice bowl,
Well,
right?
that's the other secret right there. Is a lot, especially in America, our freaking dishes are huge. Right?
Mm,
We have these giant dishes that we don't need. Nobody needs a plate that big or a bowl that big, so don't use them. What I did is I went and bought a bunch of smaller bowls,
yep.
like 8 of them, just small little cup, probably about cup and a half, maybe 2 cups if you really fill it up, bowls, and I use those. So if I'm having a bowl of like Honey Nut Cheerios, I'll fill that up halfway with
Yep.
the Cheerio, rest with a little bit of milk, a little low carb, because we over here you can get this low carb milk that's only like 60 calories a thing,
Wow, that
and
sounds
yeah,
engineered.
it's not the tastiest milk in the world, obviously, but when you put it in cereal, it doesn't matter because you like taste of the cereal. So you slam that in some cereal, bam, like 300 calories for a bowl of cereal. And your brain, you see, because we're visual eaters, our bodies, that's how we detect things, is smell and in looking at it,
Oh yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So if your brain sees, oh, that bowl's empty, a lot of times your brain will just shut the hunger stuff off. You just won't be hungry now. You'll be like, all right, I'm good. It'll be, all right, we're good. That's
Yeah,
empty.
that's
You
true.
ate, we're happy. It's a
Smell
little
is very
trick.
important. Yeah, smell is
Oh, yeah.
very important. Yeah. But yeah, these are all good things. Just smaller bowls. And that's a benefit of me living in Japan. Everything's little small bowls here. But
Yeah.
yeah, these are very good advice, and hopefully some people will take it and get yourself a little healthier, a little exercise for sure. But anyway, congratulations to you for your weight loss, and your wife's been joining you too, which is always helpful to have a partner in that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
She's about 20 pounds behind me, roughly.
yeah,
But she's a female, so it is a little bit harder for them usually to lose weight. But it's still good. I mean, she's got just under 40 pounds in 7 months. That's pretty good, especially since we've doing it slow. We're not really trying to rush, and we haven't majorly increased our exercise. Like we're not in boot camp or anything. We just go for 45-minute walks to an 45 an hour, whatever, and then
good.
she'll work out occasionally with me, like just do a little bit of strength training, and then I usually try to do that 3 times a week. Get in
Yeah,
the
no,
gym and lift
it's
heavy
perfect.
things.
Yeah, walking is good, man. You should do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's good. Women genetically retain more weight anyway because they need the fat for making babies and stuff. It's just kind of a genetic thing. It's not. It's normal. But anyway, we're gonna move on and we're gonna get into the news. Are you ready? We got some.
I am ready.
We got some kooky shit, dude.
Let's do it.
I don't know what to tell you, but the world is
Mm.
gone. It's gone crazy. It's almost as if we're at the circus or something. Anyway, let me go over here and share, and we'll get into this. And I really want to know who's responsible for keep putting my damn cousin's picture in the Discord.
I have no idea. Terrible person. Who would ever?
Terrible, horrible. Leave Jenny alone, you bastards.
Oh, I'd
All
like
right.
to. What? What?
What?
What
What?
happened?
What?
Johnny
No.
Depp. Speaking of older actors, Johnny Depp says cancel culture is so far out of hand and no one is safe. Asks people to stand up against injustice.
Hmm,
San Sebastian. Apparently, that was said. I'm guessing the reason that's in there is because it was said through a intermediary.
probably.
Um,
Yeah.
but no, I think Johnny has received a horrific brunt of it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to not like Johnny Depp as a person, but pick those then. Don't pick up things that were made up by a liar and physical domestic violence engaging in abuser.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of reasons to not like Johnny Depp. He's a total d-bag. He
Oh
was
yeah.
he probably still is a drug addict and all these things. He's a terrible role model to children.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. You can come up with 1,000 different reasons to not like Johnny Depp.
Sure.
Him beating
He
a
killed
woman,
River Phoenix. That's a
he
big one.
probably killed River Phoenix. Him beating a woman is not one of them because I mean, what kind of woman could get beat up by this guy?
Yeah, that's fair.
Come on, look at him.
That's fair.
Does he look real like he's gonna hurt anybody? He couldn't hurt a cat. A little kitty cat. He could hurt a kitty cat. Kitty cat mess him up.
Yeah. Now it is weird that I've been finding myself agreeing with Johnny Depp recently, and it's like, damn it. But that's the world we're living in, man. Because
Yeah,
this is an absolute tool. But he's not wrong. He ain't wrong. Because and we need more and more people to call out. Because here's the thing about Johnny Depp. As with most people in the world, the useful idiots, right, of the world, which is the majority, it seems, at least the ones that make all the noise. They are big fans of Johnny. They love him. They love
yes,
him to death, and they've been supporting him very strongly in his little outing against his ex-wife there. And of course, it sounds like he probably did a few things he probably shouldn't have, but she's an absolute nightmare human, dude. Nightmare human. So there's a huge contingent that is just on the Depp train, dude, and supporting him, and therefore his voice carries a lot of weight. It actually does.
yeah,
And we need more and more people at his level to stand up. Like with Robert Downey Jr., for instance. We know he has the same sentiment. We know. And he'll make little slight, like sliver comments, but he won't grab that bull by its horns and get on, right? He won't. And I wish he would, because it's clear he agrees, right? And there are many people like Scarlett Johansson. She's trying to play that money game right now. I get that, but we can also see that she probably doesn't agree with all this shit that she's been forced to kind of spew. Some of these big name people need to, like Johnny, need to start speaking up, dude, speaking up, because he's right. This is absolute bullshit that's going on. It's communist clown world, and
that's right.
what are you gonna do? There's not much more to this article other than that headline. We don't really need to get
Yeah,
into it, but it's a good way to start the day, I think.
I think Johnny is correct, and I personally like Johnny Depp as an actor. I don't have any complaints there.
No,
And beyond that, I wouldn't care about his life if it wasn't thrust into my world constantly through the media. Other than that, I don't particularly care about Johnny Depp's life. But as an actor, I think he's more than sufficient. Um, and he's absolutely correct on this. And he has suffered a huge brunt of it. I mean, he's lost what now, 2 or 3 different movie roles because of just straight up lies, confirmed in a court of law,
yeah,
lies
yeah.
that were told about him, and yet he still has no real recourse, none, because society has decided he's canceled, and I guess he is. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's male. It's just what it
Yeah,
comes down to. It's male. It's like that whole thing that's in the news. I kind of asked you on the side the other day about that girl, that Petito girl.
yeah,
That whole thing with her and all the noise. But I saw, because I was like, what in the hell is all this? So I went and did a little research on it, and I did watch that cop cam. Chest cam video of them being pulled over, and the thing it's very clear to me, and everyone else is making, well, some people are being stupid, but the sensible people are saying, well, if it was reversed and he was the one beating on her, like she had been beaten on him, witnessed, and he had all the scratches and cuts on him,
yeah,
he would have been arrested for sure. But they kind of let it go because he's like, yeah, I'm not going to press charges. And I get it, we get it, men get it. It's like, yeah, it's your lady, I get it, yada 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 yada. I understand that. However, if they had arrested her like they were supposed to, let her go to her jail for a couple of days until her hearing, she'd probably still be alive today, right? If they
yeah,
just followed it, because men and women don't get the same justice. And the Johnny Depp is not as extreme as this, because that girl lost her life, and that so did the boy. The boy's life is done whether he's alive or not. He's done,
yeah,
right? No matter what happened, because I don't think it's so cut and dry. I'm sure how she died was not him just, oh, okay, I'm going to kill her today. I don't think that's what happened. It was a crime of passion, I'm sure, if you look at all the details. However, um, we need to have fair treatment. And Amber Heard, who I know Twitter and YouTube and Google, you're not allowed to say her name. Well, fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you straight. All right?
yeah,
Amber Heard is a piece of shit. So's Johnny. Are you happy now?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay. But she's definitely getting or has been getting unfair treatment compared to him. Although it looks like that's starting to turn on her though, dude. Right?
Good.
Yeah. But but also another thing that's bugging me is this public sentiment trying starting to affect things. It just to kind of put a caveat in there because there's another thing on the internet that's making a lot of noise. This thing with this Julius something or another dude who's on death row or something because he just walked up and killed a dude, and they're all people all lying and making all kind of noise trying to make it look like it's just some kind of racism against this dude. No, he's just straight up murderer, right?
Yep.
But anyway, I don't want to get too far out of field on that. But yeah, Johnny's right. He's right. You know, uh,
He is.
and and the other thing I want to say about Johnny Depp, I don't know how many people, because a lot of people are kind of innocent and naive, and I'm not being rude when I say this. I'm just saying that that's the normal person. What you think of roughness and lewdness and deep dark holes of depravity, most of you don't have those kind of experiences, and I would say good for you, good on you for that, because it's better not to. Some of us, however, have seen the underbelly. Yeah, and it's pretty ugly. And Johnny Depp has seen the underbelly. He went deep, dark umbra, baby. Deep,
Yep.
dark umbra. With some of the people he was hanging out. I'm not talking that Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas that he's in. That's his life, dude. That's why he pulled that off so well. But anyway, I don't want to. That's off topic. But anyway, moving on. But damn it, agreeing with Johnny Depp. Fucking.
It's
All
the
right, here we
world
go.
we're in. Kill Bill star Uma Thurman reveals she had an abortion in her late teens, condemns Texas pro-life legislation.
Okay. Now
I just these fucking people, man. The
I'm
the law simply says you can't have an abortion after the baby has a heartbeat.
yeah.
That's it.
It's a good
It
law.
doesn't say
I
you
like
can't
it.
have an abortion.
Yeah.
It says you can't have one after the baby
Yeah.
has a heartbeat. By every metric in human, in all other forms of life, you would say that's an alive creature because it has a beating heart.
Yeah. No, no, no. It's I like the law because this is a sensitive subject, and we all know this. And we have to
Yep.
find. I realize today there is zero compromise coming out of the left, whether they be
Yep.
shallow left or deep left. It doesn't matter. I understand that. However, we do need to compromise, and I think it's a good compromise. Don't you?
No, I don't believe in compromise. But the fact that these people, this is why, because of this behavior from these people. That's the only reason. I would compromise with a rational person. These people are irrational. There is no compromising with them because they're just evil. I don't know how else to put it. They don't care. They only want power and control and dominance, and you can't compromise with a ravenous animal. That's what these people are. They're ravenous animals who just
Yeah,
want
but
to just
I'm
eat up everything.
You're right, but I'm not talking about compromising with them. I'm talking about compromising with the reasonable concept of abortion is medically safe these days, and that's a godsend. And there are circumstances where it's unfortunately necessary. This is my compromise, not that.
The
However,
problem is when you allow there to be any exemption at all, it's always abused and
no,
stretched.
that's true.
And I'm fine with very 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 rare. I can't put enough varies in front of it because this is how rare it is. Circumstance where it's life threatening one way or the other. Uh,
These days, especially, yeah,
yeah, okay, then you can have that conversation.
yeah,
Any other time, it should be illegal and it should be tantamount. It should just be murder. So
yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat. That's what it should be. If you're
No,
using
I
it for
get you.
contraception, you should go to prison for
Yeah.
the rest of your life or worse.
No, I get you. I get you. But gun to head, I'll take this over
Yeah, this is a
other
much
option.
better
Yeah.
situation than what they had.
Hmm.
The fact that people like Miss Thurman, which probably is a ridiculous name, Thurman, but the fact that people like her are apoplectic about a very reasonable situation, meaning you can still have your damn abortion, but you have to have it before the baby's heart's beating. I don't see how that's unreasonable. And
No.
then they'll cry about things like Well, there's the bounty system in the law, whereas if you find somebody has broken that law, you can be rewarded if you turn them in. I don't think that's unreasonable either. That should be the case for every law, actually. There should be rewards for somebody turning in a criminal. Absolutely. I don't think that's first of all, that's very basic common law in the West for in 3,000 years now, right? We reward people for stopping other people from doing a bad thing, for breaking the
Right,
law, which
right.
we generally consider a bad thing, somebody breaking the law.
That's
There's
true.
nothing wrong with that. Bounty hunting, all that stuff is a good thing because it turns the incentive around. Now, the passive observer who has the power to maybe stop somebody from doing a bad thing doesn't have to be passive because they have an incentive to not be passive.
Yeah,
This passivity, this observer's what's the word for it? There's a term for it where you're only an observer is ridiculous. It leads to nothing but a society of pure, insane, just malice and venom at every
yeah,
corner, and it's exactly what we have. Everybody's an observer. Nobody is a doer. Nobody gets in there and interacts and stops bad things from happening.
that's
We see
true.
it all the time. We see videos of people getting the absolute hell beat out of them in the street, and nobody tries to stop the guy
Yeah,
or
it's
the
weird.
girl or
It's
whoever.
weird. Yeah, I don't understand that because I certainly didn't grow up in that world. But
Me neither.
first things first, etymology is always first.
Yeah.
Thurman is personally, basically a person of Thor. However, the Scandinavians used it mainly to mean protector. So it's a
Yes.
real name. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, on the subject at hand, I will give one positive here. However, the fact that she's never said anything her entire career about it that I've never heard, anyway. Maybe her friends, but not publicly. She's not sitting there and waving around with a damn shirt on that says, I had an abortion dancing like many of these Hollywood starlets do. So that's a positive. It's clearly something she's not proud of, right? So
Yeah.
okay, there's a good starting point, Miss Thurman. However, yeah, I all this condemning of the Texas heartbeat law. No, I think all the red states in America should pass a similar law.
Yep.
I think they
In
should.
fact, go further. Go further. Go all the way 1 week. Go crazy with it. Just do it. Push it. You
Yeah,
want these people to stay out of your state? There's how you do it. Because you see a whole bunch of them have already made plans to leave Texas and talk about it all the time. We'll see if they actually do. I hope they do.
I hope they do. God, dude, Arizona too, because
Yeah.
Arizona is becoming absolutely inundated. And the interesting thing about Arizona is that you saw that really crazy fake press that came out about Arizona going for Biden, and then the actual audit information came out showing that, yeah, probably not. Yeah,
Oh, nothing. I know it
uh,
didn't. Like I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah.
I didn't need an audit. The audit could have came back and like Biden won fair and square, and I'd be like, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
I watched it happen. I don't
Yeah.
need an audit to tell me what I saw.
Now, I don't. You guys know I've never really, got on deep on it was a stolen election. Although I think there was a lot of shenanigans going on, and I think that in the end he probably did win. My point was this though: it was way too close that they could pull that shit. That's the problem. It should have never been that close. And I really hope that a lot of Americans have buyer remorse right now. I really hope they do. Because look what you did. Look what you did. The comparison
Yep.
between what you got now and what we have with Trump, night and day, dude. It's so clear. It's so
Don't worry.
clear.
It's all Trump's fault. It's fine.
Yeah, and you know what I mean though. It's
Yeah.
clear. You had
Oh,
a
I know.
guy who was getting shit done, dude. I mean, I've said this before, but I don't care. I'm gonna keep saying it. That dude did way more than I ever imagined he would.
Yep.
He really was an effective president. I don't know how that happened. I mean, old Trumpy, but damn, dude, he was. He was very effective president. And yeah, honestly, you don't have to like your president. That's not important, I think.
No, I don't want to
Do
like
you
him.
like the results? But anyway, I'm not going to bang on Uma here too hard. I don't. I think she should shut up just like the rest of them. But however, it does give me a little insight into Uma Thurman. At least she's not one of those people jumping around, celebrating her run at murder, right? She's not. So that's a good thing. Anyway, let's move on. I just thought it was an interesting story. Yeah, and I love how it's Kill Bill star. Is that who she is? Okay. This one's wonderful. I love this one.
WWE NXT 2.0 pokes fun at woke culture and safe spaces with new wrestling character. I saw this the other day on YouTube on their YouTube channel. This guy, I can't remember what his character's name is, something Gacy, I think.
Yeah, Gacy.
And
Yeah.
see, here's my problem with it.
Joe Gacy.
I see what they're doing, right? He's a bad guy, and
Yeah.
he's supposed to be an SJW, basically.
Yeah.
That's just what he is.
Yeah.
I see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is this is pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And more often than not, the bad guys turn into good guys over time.
Eventually, yeah.
Who's to say that this isn't their way of getting this nonsense into their doors? Right? So he comes in as a bad guy and everybody, but then eventually they do some storyline where they flip him to face, and now people are cheering him, but he doesn't stop being the same guy. He's targeting really bad guys. They've done this before to everybody's great happiness with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Sergeant Slaughter, go back deeper, dude. The Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik, the same exact thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where the guy really didn't change his character. It's just now the way they present him, you're supposed to cheer.
Well, no. Actually, they played it as a joke, and he got his ass kicked. But it played so poorly that they scrapped it completely, and they're going to have to reset this guy's character again. That's kind of a bummer. But I personally would love to see him just go with it, do it, mock it, bang on it, and because the audience, the WWE audience, would be all for it, dude. And we know, that Vince McMahon is the absolute poster child for misogyny, dude.
Oh yeah. No,
let's just be honest here. Yeah.
On a broader note, though, this is a good sign because WWE is always late to the party.
Roger.
WWE is always late to the party on everything. Like, it took them until something like 2013, I think, before they started talking about social media at all. Right before they started talking about posting on it and Twitter and Facebook and whatever, because they're very late to the party. So if they're this late to this party of shitting on these sorts of people, that tells me that I'm correct in my time frame. That they're a few years behind the curve because this curve is dying. Right? This curve's going away. And I think that's a good thing. And I think now it's not going to go away entirely. I keep saying that because people are going to try and gotcha me later. Mm-hmm. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the dominance in the culture is going away. And that always happens. There's these movements that take over our culture for a period of time, good, bad, or indifferent, and then they just eventually peter out for a myriad of reasons.
Cabbage Patch bitches.
No.
I remember.
Just the 80s as a decade, that just kind of petered out, and then you had grunge come in and killed all of that. Yeah. Just killed all of it.
Yeah, I have to protest here for a second. There is a protest incoming, a rant.
Protestations.
A protestation. My family loves all these damn singing shows, right? The Voice, America's Got Talent, Idol, whatever. Right? They love all this stuff. So I've had to endure a lot, Thundero. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of grunge, there's a song. There's a song that everybody's got to sing on one of those shows, and it's called Creep. I'm a creep. You know that one? That one right there.
Oh, I know it.
And they always make it so emotional. I'm out here. I'm vulnerable. Go back and listen to Radiohead's version of it. It's actually one of the few grunge songs I like. He's saying, fuck you if I have to be special. Fuck you. You should take me as I am. That's what that song's about. It's not about, I'm so emotional. It's not about it. It's pure sarcasm, that song. And no one sings it right. God damn it.
The only part of that song that I like is the shotgun blast of the bass. Sounds like you're cocking a shotgun.
Oh yeah, no, it's cool. Hey, Radiohead do it live too. I'm not a big grunge guy, although I respect music in general if it's good. Nirvana had a lot of good stuff. It's not my thing though. However, go watch Radiohead do that live, man. It's a great freaking live song. But you'll see immediately that is not what the song is supposed to be, and it's been misrepresented on these vocal shows for decades now, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, my rant over. I don't know why
Rant's done.
the rant's done.
But
But
no,
anyway,
I like this. I think a lot of people were really worried about AEW, right? They're
yeah,
WWE's biggest competition right now, and
yeah,
rightfully so because they're killing it.
they are.
About
Yeah,
them being like a super woke company because they have like a trans wrestler, and the original like opening to the show was all rainbowy and stuff. But for the most, I haven't. They're really not. They're just not. They have a couple of questionable roster decisions, but other than that, it's just a wrestling show by and
yeah.
large.
No,
There's
it's
other
theater,
decisions they
dude.
make that are dumb, but other than that,
I mean, it's a
but a
thing.
lot of people were worried that WWE, especially Vince, is clearly taking a step back, and for him, that's still in everybody's business because it's still Vince McMahon's company, but he's still taking a step back and letting other people make a lot of these calls, and especially on the business side. And people were worried, and I've heard people say this for years. Once Vince is gone, that company's going full woke.
It
Maybe
might.
I think
It
he's
might.
I think he's going to sell the company. To be honest with you, once he's done,
I think you
but
might. Yeah.
if he doesn't, and it does get handed off to one of his kids or one of the current big wigs at the company, I don't think it will. And the reason I don't is because I think that this stuff is done. It doesn't make any money anymore, and it never really
Yeah.
did. But it's harder for him to sneak it in now, right? So here's a great example. Great example. My wife and I went and saw that Free Guy movie on Friday, right? The
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds movie where he plays a video game character.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. It's good. It's silly. It's a story we've all seen 100 times already by now,
Sure.
but it's still done very well. Ryan is actually likable because he's not just playing Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, he's doing his brand of comedy, but it's toned down so much. It's a lot less sarcastic, and the character guy is really likable.
Yeah.
Genuinely likable, genuinely a good dude. And that's so rare. It's not what I mean is it's not negative. Right? It doesn't have this weird like cynicism baked into it like so many
Yeah.
superhero
That's a
movies
problem.
do.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any of that. It doesn't have, and in fact, it has the opposite of that. It's everybody comes at it from that angle, and his personality turns it around, right? Because he's just not that. That's not who he is. And it's also kind of a spoiler, but it's also a love story masquerading as like an action movie, which I respect when they can pull that off well, and they do a good job here.
Yeah. Well, he's
It's
very
a pretty good
charismatic.
movie.
He's likable, Ryan. I mean,
It's a
he
pretty
is. Yeah.
good film. I would recommend if you want to, go on a matinee or something, throw 5, 6, whatever your matinee price in your area is, bucks at it. It's worth it. It wasn't bad at all. I enjoyed it. I laughed. It's funny. And it's a good movie. And the only bit of wokeness that's in it at all, one of the brown people says to one of the main guys who's a white guy something about white privilege. But he does it like offhandedly, almost like a joke.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the breadth and the width of the wokeness in that movie that I could see at all.
Yeah.
Like they're even to the point, Chester, the unwritten rule of Hollywood,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
broke it. They had 2 white people get together.
Oh my God, that's
I
definitely.
know.
I know, but if you give Ryan a half an inch, he would dogpile on that shit, dude, because he
Oh
he
yeah.
just likes taking the piss. That's what he does. But back to this wrestling thing, so we can move on to the next article. However, wrestling is the trapeze act at the circus. Speaking of
Yes.
clown world, that's what it is, right? I mean, just for God's sake, dude, the Funkasaurus is on freaking Gutfeld. The Funkasaurus. This
Yes. Oh
is
yeah.
the reality.
Fucking Tyrus.
Yeah,
Um.
Tyrus, dude.
Yeah, they've
He
had
could
Dolph
move
Ziggler
though,
on
dude.
Fox
He had
News.
some moves, yeah.
Yeah, they've had Dolph. Dolph goes on Fox News occasionally too. At least he used to, as this like a guest panelist or whatever. Um. Yeah, that's all wrestling is. It started in the carnivals, and it
Yeah.
really hasn't got too far from it. I mean, it's its
No.
own beast now,
Yeah.
but it's still smoke and mirrors. But they're still beating the crap out of each other. It's just smoke and mirrors, right? They're not trying to hurt each other. And I think that this, to me, what I see when I see this, I see it as a barometer of where the overall culture is because I can tell you right now in America, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, pro wrestling is incredibly important culturally. I know a lot of like snooty tooty Chester types don't like that,
Yeah,
but it's the truth.
yeah,
It is.
yeah.
It's a very important cultural norm that millions and millions of Americans either know of, mock, or respect. Everybody knows pro wrestling. Everybody knows who Hulk Hogan is. Everybody knows who Steve Austin is. Fuck, The Rock is the biggest star in the world because he started as a wrestler.
Mm,
That's all tied together. And the way that wrestling tends to go, the culture is very much in line with, or it's very much in line with it. A good example is the late 90s. Wrestling got real edgy, got real adult,
it
not
did.
mature, but much
Yeah.
more adult
Grungy
oriented,
even.
grungy.
Yeah.
That's where the culture was.
Yeah.
So the
Right.
fact that we're here now, we're past the sanitized corporate nonsense that we had for a long time, and we're to a place where they feel openly comfortable enough to make a character that mocks leftism, basically SJWism, whatever you want to call it, communism really is. Um, Even if they had to pull it back, that's a sign. If a major company like the WWE, even
They
if it
did
was in
pull
their
it back too.
developmental,
Yeah.
is willing to put that out there, that's a good sign.
It is, yeah. And just to kind of catch on the point that they're really trying not to hurt each other best they can. Other than Sid Vicious's Joe Theismann moment, one of the
Oh,
worst,
so
uh,
brutal.
so brutal.
Don't even. Oh, oh,
One of the worst injuries I've ever seen, as an example, is something like Triple H. And the reason he tore that whatever leg muscle he did, and you saw it happen in the ring, is because
yeah,
when he's dropping the guy down, he's using his body and legs to slow their weight. They're taking. That's why these guys. I mean, they want to look good for the screen, but they need to be powerful because they need to slow each other down, right? And that's for instance with Triple H. That's why he tore that leg muscle because he's trying to slow. I think it was Randy Orton, right? He was trying to
yeah,
slow him down so he wouldn't really hit the mat as hard as he could. So he's using his body to reduce the impact, right? And you saw it happen. It was very, very clear. This is one of the reasons why I'm not a huge proponent of female wrestling going to a level beyond just being cute in TNA, because
right,
these ladies don't have the power to, most of them don't have the power to slow each other down. They don't. China probably did, right? But
yeah,
most of these women don't have that. And when you're putting these women in there and you're telling, okay, go actual wrestle, go do it, right? And then that's what they're doing now. You're seeing a lot of female injury. It's going right through the roof, dude. Have you noticed? Real injury
yeah,
because they don't have the muscle mass to actually be safe. You have to be able to have that muscle to, to impose on the. That's why you hear wrestlers a lot of times saying that I'm putting my body in his hands, because that's what they're doing. You have to use your muscle and your power to slow the impact of the person at the same time making it look good, which involves you slamming yourself in a controlled manner. The women just don't have the power to do that. And I think this is clearly why you're seeing such a spike in the female injury, actual injury going on. There's quite a bit, because they said, "All right, girls, well, you're not here to just be pretty now. Go actually wrestle." And I think it's a bad move, dude. I think it is.
yeah. No, I agree. I personally listen, ladies. I love you. I do.
Yeah.
But women's sports are boring. I know it's horrible, sexist, whatever. There's a reason they get a fraction of the ratings that men get, if they get them at all. They're just not fun to watch because it's worse than high school
Yeah.
level in most of the sports for
Yeah,
men.
and that's a different argument than the one I'm making. And I get your argument. That's a different combo. That's not what I'm talking about. There are plenty of sports and women can compete against each other, and it's just fine. That's not what I mean. There's certain sports that women are just meant for the male body. And professional wrestling, absolutely. If you're wrestling actually just Greco-Roman style stuff, or judo or something like that, and you're in your weight class, it doesn't matter. That's fine. Injury is part of the game, right? But professional wrestling is about literally making it look good while not hurting your opponent. That's the point. Unless you just got some asshole who's super stiff like Van Vader or something like that. Um, but um, But I mean, he was so stiff, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. But it's interesting. They tried to mock it. This was actually there to mock it, but they actually seen people taking it seriously, and I guess they decided to back right up out of it. So anyway, let's move on here. This one is funny, dude.
What have we got here? Georgian chess champion. That is a sentence. Hits Netflix with $5 million defamation lawsuit over line of dialogue in The Queen's Gambit.
All
So
right,
is that
now
apparently about chess or what?
it is. My wife watched this. It was a series, and it was like kind of a, I think just one season. Just it was like a mini series, what I call it, like they used to do on TV. And I think this wall-eyed girl is very, very annoying to look at. So I didn't really care much for it, and it felt like they were really ripping off the Bobby Fischer story quite a bit. But whatever, it was actually quite popular. People enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it, and it had some things. It wasn't. It was well done. I have to give it that. However, during that show, they did something which I remember the line, but I didn't really because I'm not really into chess. I mean, I play chess from time to time, but I don't know the world, right? And there was an offline that actually was being negative against women from a woman, which is really odd. And of course, this is the woman that they did it to. This Nona Gapridashvili or whatever from Georgia. She was quite the badass chess player. It sounds like. But in the movie, they say that because they're asking this character about this other character, which is weird because this show was set like in the 60s and she's from like the 70s, but whatever. Um, they asked about her because this is a famous chess woman in history. And she said, well, it's not really a fair comparison because she doesn't compete against men like I do. And of course, that's not true. This lady held many, many, many championships. She beat some of the world's best men at the time. She was an actual straight up great chess player. This lady, who's still alive, I guess, feels defamed. Because this movie, supposedly about a genius, great female chess player, actually put a knock on her, saying she wasn't all that. And she's like, I am all that. Fuck you and give me $5 million.
I like it. I like
Right?
get paid, lady. Do it.
Get
Take their
paid,
money.
lady. But isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Because I don't know who this woman is. I mean, I was on the chess club. I know that's shocking. However, I don't really know anything about the chess world at all. So I don't know who she is, but it sounds like she's a badass, dude. Sounds like she's a really good chess player. And we know there's been plenty of good female chess players. It's not just men that play chess. So it's weird though that the show would take a knock at it just to make her character look better. Oh wait, they do that a lot, don't they?
Yeah.
Endgame did that. Loki
Right.
did that.
Right away. Yeah.
WandaVision did that. Marvel does that.
Yep. They
Yeah,
sure do.
they
It's
do.
almost like these are all these people running these companies are all the same person, all the same mind in different bodies.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. But I hope she gets paid, dude. I hope she does. I hope she wins
Me too.
because screw you, Netflix. Screw you, dude. But this actress has nothing to do with it. She's just an actress, but it was whoever wrote the dialogue and stuff. But I hope she wins. I don't know what is the obsession. We went from the horse face girls, right? We had them for a long time. Then we got into the chins that will chisel iced girls. Then we still
Yep.
have those, and now we're getting a lot of these walleye girls. What's up with the walleye
Anime.
girl?
I'm going with anime. I'm going to blame the Japanese on this one. Their anime and their giant eyes.
Goddamn
It's become a
Japanese.
fetish over here. People really like the giant eyes now, and I think they're just creepy.
Well,
Like I don't want a woman with tiny eyes, but at the same time, you don't want to look, like there's some kind of bug-eyed creature coming at you.
yeah, and It's not so much that the eye is big; it's that they're far apart.
Yeah,
But I get your point. And actually, that's something that was going on here for a while in Japan and Korea, or in Asia in general. And there was so much pushback from the public that I've seen less and less of it. These girls would go and get a type of cosmetic surgery where they would cut like a muscle inside the tear duct or near the tear duct. You know, the eye side of the eye is near the nose ridge, right? And
yeah,
that would cause their eye to just open up, right? And it was very popular, but everyone was like, "You look like a goddamn bug." All these celebrities on TVs and stuff like that doing it, and there was such a pushback. I'm not seeing it anymore.
good.
Yeah, yeah, because it is
No, yeah, there's
creepy as
that's the
hell,
other one
dude.
too. Is you have a lot of these women who their eyes look like they're trying to escape their nose, and or their eyebrows, and they're
Mm.
just like they just like are really wide from their nose, and it's like Free Guy actually has whoever the chick is in that I don't remember her name, but she has that issue, and it's almost glaring and jarring when you look at Ryan Reynolds who has the perfect hunter eyes, right? You know, they're just
Well,
perfectly symmetrical,
he's a
bam, right where they
handsome
should
man.
be.
He is a handsome
And
man.
then you have this lady who is pretty, but her eyes are like running from the rest of her face, and
Yeah.
you're like, it just throws you
It's
off.
creepy, yeah. However, I will give a shout out to her. She did fine. Her acting was fine in that show. You know,
Yeah.
so she can do that. She can actually do the job. She's not a useless, I am woman, hear me roar type. She's not. She can do the job. So good on her for that. It's I mean, you can't help how you look. It's just I don't know why Hollywood is leaning that way, right? And because the thing you got to keep in mind, Hollywood has incredible power when it comes to influencing fashion and culture. They
Oh yeah.
really do. Music, of course, as well, but I think Hollywood is the supremacy in that regard. But whatever. I hope Miss Nona gets her money because how dare you lie about her? She's a badass. What are you doing? Picking on women just to make your stupid fictional character look better. Jesus. Okay, moving on. This one is wonderful because this is coming from the Scientific America.
Oh god, yeah, I saw this. Scientific American declares Jedi are inappropriate mascots for social justice.
Hmm, hmm.
So let me take a stab at why they think that. I haven't read the article. I saw the
Yeah,
headline.
yeah. We're gonna look at
Is
this
it
article.
because they're a paramilitaristic religious order that sometimes kind of kidnaps children and doesn't
Yeah,
let
yeah,
them see their
yeah.
parents anymore? Is that
This
why?
the zealotry of it, you mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, no. You would think that would be the first comment because that's the logical one, but no.
yeah.
And I do love how Scientific American uh,
They're gone, bro. They're gone.
wants to talk about the Jidaigeki, which is just means a samurai movie type of genre over here in Japan, where George Lucas took it from because he liked them things, like
Yeah,
Lone Wolf and
big fan of
Cub
Kurosawa. Yeah,
Zatoichi and things like that, right? Kurosawa, of course, with Mufune. But all right. Other than that, which is just the word he took in respect, and then it's a fictional shit. Other than that, Scientific American, let's look at their complaints because we want to we want to have the scientific logic about it, Thundera, right? I mean that's important because it's
oh
Scientific
boy.
American. Okay, here we go. So here is our group of people that are bitching. Here they are. Okay. And let's see how white they sound. J.W. Hammond, Sarah E. Brownell, Nita Kendharnarth, Susan Chang. Oh,
That
got an
might not
Asian in
be.
there. That might be.
Yeah,
Carson Boyd. Okay, okay. Yeah, this super
Boyd.
Karen list here going on. And they have basically said that the Jedi is being used as an acronym to stand for justice, equality, diversity, and inclusion. Where? When? How? Who?
Probably on the internet.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. However, they take issue with the acronym. Is it an acronym? Is that what that is? Is that how you understand the English language? Scientific American? Because of association with the Jedi of Star Wars universe. All right, fine. They specifically claim the Jedi are inappropriate mascots for social justice. Uh-huh, uh-huh. As for why, they immediately point to race. Okay. Now, hold on a second. Wait. They're they're how most of the Jedi are aliens. They don't look
Yeah, the
very.
vast. I think the vast majority actually, just the ones that the story focuses on, happens to be
Well,
human.
because of we don't have the special effects ability to do tons of Yodas and Chewbacca's. It's
Exactly.
expensive.
I mean, I don't know if anybody else knows this, but if you do watch any of the extra digital detail things, extra what do they call that? Extra features on the discs for the Star Wars movies.
Hmm.
Watch any of the interviews. George Lucas is very open that he wanted Luke to be not a human.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah. He just
He
didn't
just
have the
didn't have the
money to get
tech
it
to do
done.
it.
Didn't have the tech to get it
Yeah,
done. Yeah. And to be fair, George Lucas gets a lot of shit, and he deserves quite a bit of it. However,
yeah,
the guy's a freaking genius when it comes to vision, and his
yes,
vision for creating all that practical effect for the original Star Wars. Now, he didn't make the practical effect, but he was the driving force behind it. So if
yes.
he had any ability to do more aliens, he most certainly would. But of course, race. So all right.
It's so
They
dumb.
they are a religious order of intergalactic police monks,
That's
uh,
true.
pr- prone to white saviorism. Really? And toxic
That's not true.
masculine approaches to conflict resolution. So all those female Jedi are just screw them, right? We're not talking about Rey.
That's
We're talking about all the
no,
other
they
ones.
didn't. They did not call the Jedi mind trick gaslighting.
Yes, they did. You took my joke.
Stop it! You're somebody's screwing with me right now.
No, no.
Stop it!
Violent duels with phallic lightsabers,
You
gaslighting
mean
by
sword?
means of Jedi mind tricks. Yes, I guess the sword is a euphemism for the schlong,
Or it's just
which it
the
is.
most effective melee weapon ever conceived. Could be that.
Could be that.
Maybe.
Could be that. Yeah.
Pretty
And
sure if axes had won that battle, he would have made light axes
he would
instead be
have.
the thing.
He would have. But of course, in reality, if you had an actual lightsaber, you'd just kill yourself. I mean, let's
Yeah,
be
you would
fair.
just cut yourself right up.
It's the worst possible weapon you could ever have, dude. But beyond that and all the other fiction going on here, they literally, these people from the Scientific American,
Gaslighting.
racism, white saviorism, total masculinity,
I don't understand.
the dick
Wait
is
a minute.
bad,
What's
gaslighting.
wrong with saviorism? What's wrong with wanting to help people? Why is that a bad thing to these people?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
And of course, the irony is not lost upon me that majority of white people we just read there are talking about white saviorism as they come to save the fucking day, right? I mean,
Oh, the
Jesus,
projection.
dude,
Oh, this is so dumb.
it
It's
is dumb.
so dumb. This is why I say this stuff can't keep going. Because it's
Clown a
just
world.
so stupid.
It
There
is.
might have been a point to it originally when they started with it. They might have had some salient things they could sink into. This is utter nonsense. It's ridiculous. Even George Lucas would be laughing his ass off
He
at it
probably
because it's
is.
completely antithetical to what the Jedi are supposed to be or represent. And the fact that, like I said, he wanted Luke to be an alien when he first conceived him. He wasn't a white boy from Kansas or whatever Luke looks like.
No, his name was
Oh my
Luke
god.
Starkiller. Yeah. And that's why they have Starkiller Base. An homage to the character that never became. Interesting.
Oh,
But the
phallic
Jedi are an
lightsabers.
exclusionary cult, membership to which is partly predicted on the possession of heightened psychic and physical abilities. So you mean you got to be a wizard to get in?
You gotta be a wizard to be a wizard, Harry. Well, yeah, that's
Damn.
kind of how that works.
Poor muggles. The muggles are being disenfranchised, Thundero.
Oh
Uh,
man, I'm literally crying. This is it's so much worse than I thought it was gonna
yeah,
be.
yeah. And this article mentions the Mace Window, dude. Don't even bother. Don't even
Yeah,
bother
yeah, no.
mentioning Mace Window. You don't have to. It's so far beyond Samuel L. Jackson's blackness that you don't even need to mention that. And besides, I love Sam Jackson. He's fun, but that was a
Yes.
miscasting. He should not have been in that series. He's boring and bland. He can't pull that character off. It's
I
just, I mean,
think
I like Sam, but it's bad casting.
you might be right. It might be Sam's fault. I actually lay that at the director personally, which
Fair
was
enough.
Lucas, but it
Yeah.
could have been Sam's fault. Absolutely.
Well, I'm
However,
not
I think
blaming
Mace
him at
Windu
all.
as a character is fantastic.
The idea,
Mace
yeah, sure.
Windu is one of the best characters George Lucas ever created. The problem is he doesn't show you that in the damn movies
Yeah,
that
no,
he's
he
in.
doesn't.
You
He
have to
doesn't.
go read other stuff to find out how awesome Mace Windu is
That's true.
and how fantastic. If you care about representation, you got literally the second greatest Jedi of all time. The first one, second and third and two if you count Luke, but we don't know what they're doing with Luke anymore. But as of right now, the two best Jedis of all time, because Rey Skywalker, get the hell out of here with that nonsense, are a green little alien and Mace Windu.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not even really close. Mace Windu is one of the baddest dudes to ever be a Jedi, but you wouldn't know that if you watch those movies.
Yeah, but see, the thing would have been better would be have Liam Neeson playing Mace Windu. He would have been a better Mace Windu. But the thing
Oh,
is, the problem with Sam Jackson is, unless he's saying motherfucking snakes on a motherfucking plane, it ain't good. That's what you
oh
need.
man.
Sam needs that blackness. He's all about that 70s pimp culture. That's Sam Jackson, and he's awesome at it. He's amazing at it, and I love it. However, yeah, but whatever. Yeah, my point is, you don't even have to mention Mace Windu, dude.
Yeah.
But we don't need to go for the rest of the list. That I read what I wanted to read. These people are idiots.
I
Clown
mean, we didn't even
world,
get to the
dude.
silliest one,
Clown world.
calling the Jedi eugenicists. They don't, guys. The Jedi aren't supposed to have kids. What are you talking about?
I know, right? I know, right? They
What?
don't know
Like that?
because they don't know what they're talking about. That's the issue. No one does any research. No one bothers to learn anything or understand
No,
anything.
it's so utterly stupid.
It is.
Oh my
And the fact that
god.
we're talking about a freaking fictional fantasy world, dude. Get a grip, brother. Get a grip. Anyway.
Oh,
What does the
silly.
chat have to say? Lightsabers are phallic, boing, and we get a cucumber. Thank you, Rodimus. It's perfect.
Cucumbers.
Joe says it's all back on Lucas. Anyway, though, he's on record as saying he'd be in a favor of a benevolent dictatorship. Screw him. All right, fair enough, dude. He's like Jackie Chan then. All righty. Anyway, let's move on. Moving on.
Oh, that's
Oh,
just hilarious.
oh, this one. This
Oh
one's.
boy. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
yeah,
All the fun's over now.
yeah. It's over.
Netflix Cowboy Bebop showrunner says live action adaptation will serve as an expansion to the canon of original anime.
Okay, which means it won't have anything to do with the original show, although it looks like it will. But the reason I put this up here is the conversation can open into that if you'd like. But really, I wanted to talk about the trailer that dropped, the intro, right? And
So bad.
it's so bad, dude. Well, my wife and I are sitting there. My wife and I are sitting there watching it. First thing that struck me is why isn't it a different key? Now that's just me that would think that I think, but
No, I
or
noticed
that
it.
didn't matter. The music is fine, right? There's
Yeah.
great intro, that bebop, that just absolutely just slamming trumpet that's going on, that is and saxophones. It's great. But anyway, um, my wife and I watched that this morning before she left off for work, actually, right? And
Yeah.
both of us kind of looked at each other because my wife's not a big anime person, but she did enjoy Cowboy Bebop. It is
Oh,
much
everybody,
more of an
everybody
adult
does.
show, right? But we were like, huh? And I just had to correct myself. I had to know. So I went and I looked on YouTube and found the original, from the anime and watched it
Hmm.
back to back. And my God, how boring is it? This dude here, this Cho guy, whatever his name is, he's too short, too
Yep.
clumsy.
Yep.
No. He's not speak. He's not Spike, dude.
And he's too old.
And he's too old. But I mean, it was so awkward to watch. They tried their best to recreate that faithfully. They really did. But it was just awkward and weird. And Jet was like, my God, dude, that dude cannot emote to save his life. You could put
Yeah.
me in that role and I would have emoted better.
Yeah.
That's not good, man. I'm not an actor. I am untrained, Thundero. Did you know
That
that?
that opening sequence where he's running is the most embarrassing thing.
It's bad,
Uh,
dude.
if I was him, I'd have been like, no, guys, you can't put that's terrible. What
That's
we
bad.
can't be having that. But even Booster made an edit of it with it side by side from the original opening
Yeah,
second with
yeah,
Spike running
yeah,
and Mr. Cho running, and it's obvious it was on a green screen and he's
yep,
not actually going anywhere. But they told him to make like it looks like he's running somewhere, and that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like somebody pretending to run, and
yeah,
I cannot believe that Netflix or any company who's trying to make a serious product would put that in your opening credit sequence and be like, yeah, that looks good.
yeah.
That's what we want right there. We wanted a guy pantomiming running
Well,
as the opening shot. That's what we
you
needed.
you know what happened though? Because I saw it, it was popped up in my recommended, like the number one in my recommended. So I was like, huh. So I clicked on it. We watched it because I watch pretty boring stuff mostly, right? I like watching
Yeah.
people restore old chairs.
For some reason, yes.
But anyway, so we clicked on it and watched it. But when I first saw it, I was like, "What was this? Some fan put together?" I thought it was like a little a fan clip. That's what I thought. I thought, "Oh, that's clever." Someone tried to put together what it might look like. I was like, "Oh, okay." But then I when I minimized it, I noticed it said Netflix. I was like, "What? This is official?" Because that's the
Yeah.
first thing that came to
Yeah.
my head was this was some fan thing that, and when I looked into it a little more and I just kind of clicked down and looked at the other stuff, a lot of people were saying that. What is this? Some kind of fan fiction? And that's what I thought it was.
Yep.
It's really cringe, dude. Yeah, you're right, Josh. It's super cringe. And I
Oh,
did, and I'm glad Booster did that. I should have done that myself. But I watched it side by side in a way this morning, and I just wow, dude, because the original anime it pops, dude. It pops really well. You got that Bruce Lee moment where he's doing his kick in. It looks awesome.
yep.
You got Faye moving her body in a very aggressive action way, but it's also sensual, right?
Yeah.
Because those cuts in the intro from the original thing, those are people, and they just black them out and put a color behind them, right? Those are actual
Right.
people moving. That's animated. However, I really shocked how bad it was, dude.
Well, the worst here's the other thing is throughout the opening trailer, whatever you want to call it, the opening credits, they have clearly taken shots from the anime directly
Yeah,
and
yeah,
injected them
yeah,
straight in there. Except they've made alterations to compositions of scenes. The best example is the stained glass window where what's his name, the bad guy, has him held down by the sword. You can't even see the sword. I
yeah,
had to look at it, the picture, the still of it, like 3 or 4 times before I realized he did have his sword, because the lighting is so overpowering from that back window, you can't make out anything else.
yeah,
Whereas in the anime, you see, with competent people who understand the importance of lighting, they made sure that the lighting was subtle. It was only on them, and the only two things in that scene that glowed, quote unquote, were his hair and his blade,
yeah,
so you could definitely not
yeah.
miss it.
Well,
They also made sure that the only two things really lit up besides the railing behind him was behind Spike. You have the glass window, right?
yeah,
This is I guarantee you was done on purpose to show that Spike is the good guy. He has the beauty behind him. He has the heart of gold. The
sure.
other guy has nothing but black behind him.
Well, vicious, yeah,
That's intentional.
yeah, yeah,
This
and
stuff is important in
it
filmmaking. How do
is.
these people who have gone to film school not know that?
Well, there's a reason why Cowboy Bebop is legendary and Ren and Stimpy's not.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
and Rabbit, you're welcome to come in and bitch about it because we certainly are. But Alan gets the quote of the day, though. Alan wins. The running looks like a scene from The Amazing Bulk. You are correct, sir. You are correct.
He had another good one up there too. Talk about Mace Windu. Mace Windu comes from the motherfucking star system. Everyone looks and speaks like Sam Jackson on that planet.
That's right. He does. Yeah, but you know what I mean. I don't want to diss. I'm not dissing on Sam Jackson at all. I like him. It's just that was not good casting. It's just not who. It's not what he
Oh,
is. It's not what he does, man.
I
Uh,
knew they were gonna come to Cowboy Bebop eventually, as they were slowly bastardizing every anime, and they could not have. I don't think they could have done worse, because here's why: if they had have made it so obviously shit, like changed a whole, like just tons of changes, and it was like nothing like it, everybody would have just, at it. But the fact that they tried to put a veneer of the anime style on it,
Yeah.
and they even tried to keep the
So
races
lame.
and stuff right, they put a little bit of extra effort into it, and it still looks like shit.
Yeah.
That's more insulting to me personally, because you went that far, but then you stopped. Why even do it then? Why
Yeah.
bother? Either do a terrible version I can laugh at, like just terrible, that I can laugh at and ignore, a great version that I can be very happy you made, or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Because when you land in the middle, it's just gross.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, well, there's a few things I want to say before we move on to the next thing. Last bit for Sam Jackson. I do like him, and I guess I appreciate the effort of trying to put him in there. However, I really think Sam should stick to his ballsy moves, like doing a movie called Black Snake Moan.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie, but damn, dude. You want to piss off them Southern Dixie boys. Jesus Christ. But anyway, um, I said last time, even though the Faye thing blew up, and it was like, yeah, she's dumpy chick, and whatever. And of course, she can't shut her damn mouth like any of these young Hollywood starlets or whoever who think they're so special. No one even knows who you are, girl. Jesus. But I said from the beginning, the Jet Black character didn't look well. It didn't look good. And the fact that they race swapped him, I mean, it's stupid. But you could have got a black. We had a long conversation about it, right? You could have got a black dude that could have pulled it off. You could have, and I don't think anyone would have had much to say about it, to be honest with you. But that guy from the beginning, I said that doesn't look right. There's something wrong about this. You go watch that intro, because most of the time you're just being knocked over by the awkward, run by Cho here and Faye literally going from right to left and in the most amateur way, our way ever. But go back and watch it and pay attention to the Jet Black character. It's it's completely awkward. It's weird, dude. I'm
Yep.
telling you, whoever that actor they got is, he has zero charisma. I don't think he can act to save his life, dude. I really don't. And the last point, where the fuck is Ed, dude? Where's
I
Ed?
don't know. Haven't seen or heard anything about Ed.
Why are
Which
they
you would
afraid
think
of Ed?
Ed would be a slam dunk for them because it's a gender ambiguous character. But no, I have no idea why Ed's not involved at all yet. Still, it hasn't even been mentioned, and I don't even think
No.
it's been cast.
No,
So
there's no casting, and of course it's not in the intro, as of course Ed is in the original intro.
yeah,
And I don't get it. I mean, because Ed's a great character. I like Ed.
yeah, Ed is a
Yeah.
great character. I think you could it, Chester. Could it be as simple as Ed is a daddy's girl, and they don't want to show that,
Uh,
so they're just not going to touch it? Because Ed is a daddy's girl. When Ed's dad shows up, she's all about her dad. She loves her dad. Big old
sure.
daddy's girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think that I could it be that simple? Are these people that shallow and petty that they don't want to
I
show
don't
somebody
know.
loving their father?
I don't know. But I mean, because another thing you're mentioning is it's an androgynous character. It's a female character.
Yes,
Yeah, but Ed's not aware of that though, right? And that's an important distinction. Ed is
correct.
not
Ed's just Ed.
aware that she's a tomboy. She's unaware.
Correct.
She's oblivious to it. And of course, these days, those kind of characters they're constantly saying, "Yeah, I'm a bi. What do they call them now? They don't even. We have a freaking word for it. What do they have to make new words for it? But
I just like freaks.
well, whatever. I mean, I'm androgynous. They always have to tell you, right? But Ed was an androgynous, tomboyish character, but
Yep.
completely unaware. Ed was just Ed. And there was nothing more
Yeah.
said about it, and it was never even mentioned.
And that's what Ed
Right?
directly said when asked. Ed's Ed, silly. Exact quote from the
That's
anime.
right. Ed's Ed.
Ed's just Ed. Um, I loved Ed. I love
Yeah,
everything
Ed was
about it. I
awesome.
think Ed is. If you want to show a character, like that, which they've tried in other things, that's how you do it, right? You don't focus on it. You don't make it a deal. You just Ed's just Ed. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. And
and
Ed
that
loves her daddy. I
and
like that too.
yeah, and that kind of what we look at it at as an androgynous young female, you find it all
Yeah,
across anime. It's everywhere.
yeah,
It's a standard anime or manga character type. It's a trope,
yeah.
right? But anyway, let's move on from this. But hot damn, dude! Oh my god, here we go. This is yours.
This is a good one. Daniel Craig says, "Why should a woman play James Bond when there should be a part just as good as James Bond, but for a woman?"
Mm,
See, this is properly written. I like whoever wrote this down. There should be better parts for women and actors of color. Now, when he says better, that's kind of a weasel word on his part,
it is
but we all know what he means. He means ones designed from the ground up for those types of people.
sure.
James Bond is a very specific character who absolutely will not work if he's not James Bond. Maybe he could work with a black James
No,
Bond,
fuck
probably
that.
could,
Screw that.
but exactly. Screw that. Why? There's no reason to do that.
Yeah,
There's no
just
reason to change James. Just make a different double O, the black
or
double
how
O,
about
and there you
just
go.
don't make any more? Don't we have enough?
No. How dare you, sir? Well, I don't know. It just depends who they get to play Bond next. That's the great thing about James Bond is we get to a point where we've had enough, and then they pick a new Bond, and you're like, wait a minute, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, maybe.
And
Yeah,
then
that's true.
it can either be terrible, or it can be good, or it can be sometimes good, sometimes terrible. Or Daniel
Yeah,
Craig's run, for the most part, I think has been great.
yeah, it's not
It's been
bad.
a different kind
Not
of
bad.
Bond, a much more
Casino,
like down to earth. But
yeah, Casino Royale was awesome. I did like that a
Casino
lot.
Royale's really good. Skyfall's really good.
Yeah,
Quantum of Solace has some decent parts.
yeah.
Uh,
But
we'll see.
he was trying to measure his words here. Fair enough.
Yes, yes.
But it's a very fair point. If you want a female spy character, go make one. Oh wait, they've done that a couple times here recently, and they sucked balls. Let's see.
Make a
Atomic
make a double
Blonde,
O.
no. Black Widow, it seemed to be okay. And Kate, what a debacle that was. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Salt. Remember the Salt movie like
see,
15
and
years
I
ago,
didn't
whatever it
mind
was?
that though. I didn't mind that, and you know I don't like that bitch.
Yeah, yeah, I do know that. No, I would be fine with if you want to expand the James Bond universe a little bit. There's plenty of room to do it. Make a different double O, a female or a non-white guy or whatever. I don't have any problem with that. I just don't want it to be James Bond. James Bond is a white British man, probably an orphan, at least so far that's the canon,
Yeah,
who is an exceptional spy, like beyond all comparison, the best there is.
yeah,
I don't want that to be changed, and neither does anybody. No James Bond fan wants that to be changed. The creator, the one, not the creator, but the daughter of the creator, doesn't want that to be changed.
no,
The person who owns the rights and controls it, Miss Broccoli, doesn't want that to be changed. She wants James Bond to stay traditional to his character.
yeah,
You can make other alterations, and they did with Craig, and I liked most of them. I didn't mind M being a woman. I thought that was fine. I thought it worked, especially in British government. They typically have a lot of women in those positions. Not typically, but more often than over here in America. So it didn't bother me at all that M was a woman, especially since it was Judi Dench, and Judi Dench is awesome.
yeah.
Uh, I think there's plenty of room to just expand the universe of the Bond franchise
It's true, Joe.
to just call it the double O franchise or something like that. What is it? MI6, I think is what it is. Call
Yeah,
it that. And there you go. Now you can have a 004 as a chick and 009 as a black guy. Awesome. Cool. We can get
uh,
cool movies, then we can get team up movies or something. Why not?
yeah.
Why not
No,
try it?
yeah. And Alan, you're right. Ed does say that, but my point is Ed doesn't care, and neither does anybody else. Is my point. And it's just a kid anyway. But but no, you're right. And they do this all kind of with everything, right? We got
Right.
a reboot of Conan the Barbarian. It was absolutely abysmal, and it's like, well, why do you choose that guy? I mean, Conan is a big, giant, muscular Celt. That's what
Yeah.
Conan is, right?
Yes.
Red Sonja is a big, huge, muscular, red-headed white lady, super white lady. But now it's a black lady? Huh?
Every time.
Yeah, but it's just, if you want to do that story theme, then go ahead and try, right? It is hit and miss. Not every character created is successful. It's not. You got to throw a lot at the wall and see what sticks. But they're feckless, dude. They have
Yes.
no ambition. They have no staying power. Oh, it didn't work. You stupid white man. And that's what we get. It's like, dude, try again. Keep at it. It's
Yep.
called work, dumbass. Oh God.
I'm glad Mr. Craig said these things. I'm glad he is standing up for
Sure.
the heritage of this role, even if he doesn't want to play it anymore. I think he understands why it's important, and it's obviously very important in not only British culture but Western culture, I'd say as a whole. James Bond has been around longer than me, been around longer than you, I think, even Chester.
Yes.
So
Yes.
he's a very important
Slightly.
character, and I don't see any good argument for changing his
Nope.
racial or sexual makeup.
Nope.
There's not
I
one.
agree.
No. You get him, Rabbit. You go ahead. Although I
no,
do
no,
have
he's
to.
right. He's spot on.
Yeah,
Bond's
no.
he's like an institution.
It is, dude.
Yes.
And this is a British person, so their opinion matters more than ours on this subject. Eric says, I want to be 0069. I agree, sir. You should be. You're a bit old for it, but, I hope you have the energy. Go ahead, Rabbit.
You completely cut me off and lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Why do I do that? I tend to have that effect on Rabbit. Have you noticed that, Thundera?
I have.
It's because
yeah.
I'm drinking. But I got really angry when you were talking about Cowboy Bebop because I watched the teaser trailer not long ago. I was just like, this made me sad.
Oh, dude, don't watch the intro. Then they dropped yesterday. Don't watch it.
No, I
It'll piss you
watched
off.
it. It made me sad.
Oh God.
It's like,
bad.
dude, learn how to make anything.
Please.
I
agree. I agree.
I love the anime.
Yeah.
Obviously it's never going to be as good, but I mean they could have at least tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
anyway, yeah, I know you're talking about Bond, so.
Well, no, but I don't mind going back to it because they could have easily cast some people who could have done the physicality of the characters.
Right, so all the cast is terrible, right? So Spike didn't look anything like Spike.
No,
he's a bit too old. He's not got the quirkiness. So Spike's like some really I mean we all know what he's like from the gangster side of it, but he's kind of like a flaky, lazy, like smoking cigarettes. Really chilled out, lanky, really tall guy.
Yeah, he's a
acts like Bruce Lee basically.
Well, he's a beatnik Bruce Lee. That's what he is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's cool. And the guy playing Jack. He doesn't matter what race he is. He doesn't look anything like him.
No,
he's not big enough for a star. Jet's like quite large, like almost like wrestler type. Some big, bulky person would have suited him.
Well,
and with the beard, right?
And Jet is the Obi-Wan Kenobi character, right? He's the voice of wisdom, right?
And Faye's supposed to be a lot younger than that, and she's supposed to be a lot hotter than that. I mean, that's half her character as she plays off her hotness to do the jobs that she does.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No,
I've wanted about it for ages. And obviously, you already said about Ed. I reckon they'll have Ed in it, but maybe a second season or maybe later down because Ed don't come into it straight away, does she?
No, she doesn't. And neither does Einstein.
No, Ein doesn't either. That's true. So maybe they just cut her out. I don't know.
Yeah, but whatever. That's one of the good things about Cowboy Bebop, how the team grows, right? Because it starts out with just Jet and Spike. It's just them.
Yeah.
Right? And
none of them care about each other at all. But they do.
Together.
They do, but they don't,
But that's part of the series, though, them becoming a family. Right?
Yeah.
That's part of the story.
I love the series. It's got that like interwoven like story of Spike and that whole because that's what the story is. But then it's got all the other stuff in between, and it's very. But that's the thing. It didn't have the grittiness to the anime. The anime is very gritty. Even the funny stuff is very gritty. None of that's there.
No.
It's not gritty. It's all cartoon. It looks like a cartoon. Like the outfits look stupid and everything.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know right well that the Faye character is going to be nothing but a bitch on wheels. She's going to give Spike a hard time all the time. There's not going to be any kind of interaction or any kind of acknowledgement between them as there was in the show. She's just going to be horrible the whole time. That's what they're going to
I
do.
mean, I will watch the first episode because you have to, right? But I already know that I'm going to watch it and then just never watch it again. I can just see it. It just looks like Power Rangers level budget. You know what I mean? It just looks.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It made me angry when I watched the teaser.
I don't think that these people are aware how big Cowboy Bebop is, because if
No.
you listen to them, none of them know what Cowboy Bebop is.
It's literally one of the greatest anime series ever
we know this.
written, made. Yeah,
They don't.
Animation's amazing. The soundtrack, the movie they did is amazing.
Yeah, the movie is good. I would say there's only a few, and I mean literally 3, anime that are at the level in the culture and in the mind of the fans.
I'm gonna
that
say
Cowboy
Evangelion.
Bebop is. Dragon Ball, obviously, Akira for the older fans.
Hey,
and well, I mean, let's be honest, it came out in the 80s. And
no, that's
Cowboy
the first
Bebop.
anime I watched.
I'm trying to think what else is in. I don't think there's any.
I would say
Evangelion.
Evangelion.
Yeah, Evangelion. That's
definitely.
about it. Everything else is kind of has its own little pockets. Whether sometimes those are really big pockets, like say One Piece or whatever, but they're still kind of insular in a lot of ways. Whereas these are, everybody's watched them. If you've ever watched anime, you've probably watched at least one of them and probably liked it because they're very good. Dragon Ball is its own thing. Cowboy's its own thing. Evangelion's its own thing. These are all kind of their own beast, but they're very well done. And Cowboy Bebop is one of the best period shows ever made, period.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
You do realize you're
the
forgetting
soundtrack's so good.
The greatest anime ever made from the 70s.
What's that? You gonna say Astro Boy or something? Oh, Get It Robo or something? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not old enough. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, someone says in the chat Gundam. Then they're not wrong. Everyone loves Gundam.
Yeah, Gundam too.
Yeah.
My point is there's a handful, maybe 10 specific animes that anybody in that sphere that likes that stuff has probably seen and loves, and or at least has great respect for. And Cowboy Bebop, for me personally, is the king of all of those. It is perfect. It is the closest thing to perfect a series of any kind I have ever seen.
Yeah, it is. It is really solid.
I don't know.
It is solid.
I don't know if I go that far. But yeah. There's a few others I think are equally as good, but I don't know. Cowboy Bebop gets me because the music's integrated into it. None of the others have such a good soundtrack. They didn't work that hard on every aspect of the atmosphere of the show like they did on Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. The original 70s release, guys, in America was called Star Blazers. Our Star Blazers,
Yeah. I know Star Blazers.
Yeah. One of the greatest theme songs ever, and there's something to be said about great theme songs because Cowboy Bebop has one too, a really good intro theme song. It's really good.
Yeah.
I can't believe how torturous that intro trailer was. I'm like, Jesus. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's
Trigun Outlaw Star. See. Dave's naming all the anime I know.
Yeah.
All the older shit.
Yeah, and those are good too. Yeah. There's a lot of great anime that we grew up with. And it's unfortunate that Netflix was allowed to touch something. I think it's clear by now.
Netflix shouldn't be anywhere near anything.
And they shouldn't be near anything, particularly children.
Yeah, specifically, yeah.
And not even that. If when they do get something good, they cancel it after the first season. They
do.
So.
They do. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't. Occasionally, I do see something interesting on Netflix. It happens rarely, but it's unfortunate.
Well, I enjoyed that last season they did that. They cancelled like literally the minute they aired the first season. That superhero thing. What was it called? Mark Miller did it. What was it called?
Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah, Jupiter's
Legacy.
That
was great.
That. Yeah, and they canceled it
canceled it.
straight away.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Comic Book
It was
Bob
too expensive.
for the
That's
win.
what.
Full Metal Alchemist. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And
Full
Ninja
Metal
Scroll.
Alchemist.
Yes, sir.
Oh no,
I
Ninja
would say
Scroll
Full
is
Metal
awesome.
Alchemist. For me personally, I love Full Metal Alchemist, especially the Brotherhood series. of it, where
Brotherhood. Brotherhood's
fixed it.
amazing.
I would say for me personally, Cowboy Bebop's in a different category from it because Cowboy Bebop is, while it is an anime, it's also not an anime. It's like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's kind of like Akira. It's transcended that.
It is.
It's like Dragon Ball.
artistic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
rest of those aren't.
transcended. It's transcended anime, even though it technically is one. Whereas you have a lot of Dragon Ball fans who that's all they like is Dragon Ball, and other
That's true. It's like
animes they don't care
Naruto is the
about.
same, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
There are a lot of Naruto fans out there that don't know anything else.
Occasionally, you'll have a show or a movie or a piece of art or whatever that transcends its own genre, and I think Cowboy Bebop is one of those for anime. I think Star Wars is one for live-action space opera movies because there's a lot of them actually, but Star Wars it's a beast all to its own, right?
You've seen Visions, the anime Star Wars? Oh, sorry,
I haven't. I heard it's pretty good though.
It is good. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. No, I think that's where Bebop really is on the scale. If you're going to put it on a scale, sometimes certain properties just grow beyond the scale itself. And to me personally, and I can't say that enough. It's my own personal opinion. Bebop is one of those. It's just off the chart. And that's why when I heard Netflix was making it, I was like,
The thing is, you're not the only person, because I'm the same, and a lot of everybody who grew up with that and watched it will think the same. It won't do well. Only people that will like it, I feel like, are people that have never seen it, but with the way that they look like they filmed it, and the budget and the effects, I can't see people liking it. Because they're going for a market, a niche market, and that niche market already hates it.
Yeah, no, I think they would have done better just making a comedy out of it with this crew they have. But Dave says, what is this? Mad Bill? No, Roger says Mad Bill 34. I don't know that. Inuyasha. Inuyasha, what? Demon Dog? I don't know that one.
Yeah, pretty much Inuyasha. Yeah. So
that's literally what it is. Yeah,
people that did Ram Half, if you know Ram Half. You know,
no, I don't. Yeah.
Inuyasha is also one that was supremely influential, especially the book, in what would become manga today.
Oh, really?
But it's still, to me, it's just, I love it, but it's still just.
That is. It's just it's something I wouldn't watch it all the time, not like Cowboy Bebop, but rewatch. I own the DVDs.
Yeah.
Is it worth me watching that? I don't know this one.
Inuyasha?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I didn't hate
very
it.
much.
I watched it when I was younger, so.
It's very much one of the originators of a lot of the tropes that we have now.
There's some good characters in it.
But yeah, it's good. I'm not saying, don't take what I'm saying here that it's not good. It's great, actually.
Yeah, it's fun.
But going out of your way to watch it, I don't think it's old, so I don't think it's necessary unless you don't care about that. Though they finished it recently, though, in like the last, I don't know, what was it, 10 years or so?
Yeah, they did. They did the last 26 or something episodes, was it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm looking in here. I don't know this one at all. Don't even recognize
I've literally seen almost every anime that exists that's good. And some that's bad. Nowadays, most are bad. Some are good.
We're joined again.
You just joined?
By a Grimlock.
Grimlock,
I think we're done, bro.
We are, dude. I'm just about to cut it.
YouTube. I didn't notice.
I agree with. I've never read a single page of Berserk. I've never even seen the anime, but I understand how important it is.
Yeah. Berserk.
I think messing that up is you're signing a death warrant. To be honest.
Whatever you do with Berserk, though, if you do watch it, watch the golden arc era movies. They're great. Watch the original 80s anime series, amazing, or 90s, whatever it was. But the continuation, they use that weird 3D CGI anime.
That's true.
They got rid of all the feeling and emotion, so it's like it sells a story. But you may as well just play the computer game that came out instead because it's better.
Well, and keep in mind, it's a rough ride, dude.
Yeah, watch it. Watch the original anime series. It's amazing,
It
and it's the
is.
harshest thing you'll ever watch.
It is. It's very harsh, and but the character progression from beginning to end is impressive, though. It
Oh
really
yeah,
is.
Berserk's fucking.
Yeah,
I could go on about Berserk forever. It's so good.
yeah, it is.
It's equally as good as Cowboy Bebop, but it's his
It's
own
very
monster
different,
Berserk.
though. It's very,
It
very
is
different.
it's his own thing. Yeah, definitely. I've seen Mad Bull 34.
I've never seen
They
that.
he's on about it in the chat, but I've seen it. And I've got it upstairs.
Hmm.
I have a lot of original VHS anime from back in the day. Even from Fist of North Star, Venus Wars, all the old school stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's one
Hands
my
Stray
wife grew
Eyes.
up with, Fist of the North Star. I've never really watched much of it.
Oh
But
man.
anyway, it is time, though. We do have to get out of here. Do appreciate you guys coming in, joining us, though. It's always fun. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be talking a little bit about comic books. I don't know. I didn't see much in comics news, but I'll try to find something. But nevertheless, any kind of closing comments here, Rabbit?
Fuck Netflix.
Yeah, fair enough. Grimlock, would you like to say a word?
Yeah, sure. I don't think I've ever wanted to see an individual piece of entertainment fail as much as I want to see this fail. Even I want to see this fail even more so than Captain Marvel, and I really wanted to see that fail.
Yeah, that did make money though.
It, it's just ridiculous how they can just keep doing this over and over again. But I'm hoping that eventually Netflix just starts running out of running out of money to do stupid shit like this.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
Bec-
All right then. Thank you very much, Grimlock. Thunder, take us out of here, man.
I have a very simple thing to tell everybody. It's almost October, guys.
Yes.
And October, I've said this before, it's probably my favorite month. The more I think about it, the more I like October. It's got the only holiday that, while commercialized, it's okay if it's commercialized, in my opinion. And the weather where I live anyway is just right at that perfect balance of cool. You get nice cool nights and not hot but warm days. So like, high 60s, 70s. Them nice days, sometimes overcast, sometimes a little rain, but nothing crazy. Usually. Sometimes we'll get hit with some snow. But October is upon us. It's fall time. Fall time is here. It's best time of the year. And I hope everybody out here that can hear this is having a good time. I genuinely mean that. I hope you're having a great time. The world's going crazy. We're in the mad world, clown world. So it's more important than ever to prioritize having fun. Because if they take that away from you, life's not worth living. It's really not. So try to find a way every day. Give yourself some time and just do something that you enjoy. That's it. Simple as that. Do something you enjoy every day, and life's worth living.
Namaste. And keep in mind that on October 1st, Steam Festivus begins. There's a lot of demos dropping, guys. A lot of demos. Go check it out. Later.
Later.